Happy New Day, goddesses. I'm having some technical difficulties this morning, but I'm most definitely getting them together. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your presence. Let's get this started. I'm Tracy, the Sacred CEO. I've been petitioned and positioned by the mothers, the Yami and the Ajay, to come forth to you with divine messages that hopefully will activate codes within you so that you can start understanding and walking your walk as a sovereign Black woman. I want you to look up that word sovereign. Very, very important, especially now in this day and age. Okay? So I want to thank you, Mother Goddesses and Father God, for our divine connection. Thank you for bringing us forward into your energies, into your portal, into your wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for our spirit team. Thank you for our connections one into another. Even though we don't know each other possibly right now in this physical realm, we definitely know each other on that soul realm. So we want to thank you. We want to thank you for the heartbeat of the drum. We want to thank you for the magic of the drum. We want to thank you for the activation of the drum. We want to thank you for the activation of our wombs. We want to thank you for the creativity and the fertility that you have given all of us. We also want to thank you for our spirit of knowing, our psychic abilities and our intuition to feel and to understand the frequency of energies and how important it is for us to feel and be honest with our feelings so that we can understand the spirit. May we go forth in love, peace, guidance, protection, and comfort. And may we feel safe. Ashe, amen, and our woman. I want to welcome you, Sharnice, Allison, Mama Moo. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for joining. Yes, let's go ahead and open up this portal. Open up this portal. Open up this portal. Yes, open up this portal. We are going to discuss divine safety being our birthright. Our divine birthright. Safety is our divine birthright. Now I'm going to ask you, and I'm gonna leave you with this. I want you to sit for just 30 seconds and ask yourself, Black woman, have you ever felt safe? Or when was the last time you felt safe? Many of us didn't necessarily feel safe in the womb. Why? Because our mothers were experiencing their own trauma, right? Our mothers were experiencing their own trauma, unresolved trauma. If you know anything about your birth story, you probably know some of the things that your mother experienced while you were being homed and transported into her womb, while you were being housed in her womb, that's supposed to be a place of nourishment and comfort and support for you to be delivered here on this earth realm. And many times we came here in the waters, tainted, toxic waters, right? Many of the feelings that we feel right now of feeling neglected and not feeling safe and not feeling comforted and not feeling secure come from the waters of our mother's wombs. Okay. So those of you who have pen and paper, I would suggest you definitely take notes or go get you pen and paper, because these are going to be things you will want to go back and reflect on. Okay, these are things we're going to discuss where you're going to want to go back and reflect on. So I need you to understand that this feeling, for those of us who have this feeling of not feeling safe and not feeling supported, this many times comes from our mothers. Many times it is projected upon us, feeling unsafe, right? Feeling those feelings of anxiety, discomfort. Many times that is a projection from our mothers. We have to understand that with the woman and the mother being the first teacher of the home, much of how we respond and react to life situations and personal circumstances is based on how we were taught by our mothers. So even though, if you remember, a lot of times how you always said, I'm never going to do that with my child. I'm never going to do that when I grow up and have my kids. I'm never going to say that. And what happens? We end up finding ourselves what? Repeating that same script, right? That our mothers shared with us. Because even though we say we don't want to do it, we have no other role to that we were necessarily taught from. Okay, so until we find an alternate way of doing it, we don't know the correct response. And that's why a lot of times we repeat the same things and the same words and the same phrases, we as our mothers. And then when we catch ourselves, a lot of times we like, oh, I sounded just like my mama. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do that. Right? But until we see an alternative, or we see another role that supports what we choose to do, until we have that example before us, we will continue to do the same thing. So that means we have to evolve and develop. We have to be consciously aware first that we are doing it. Then under that consciousness, we have to begin to evolve and develop and choose differently so that we don't continue to repeat that same generational cycle of abuse or trauma or uncomfort or the disability of not feeling safe. There's a lot of things that our parents have said and done. Okay, why am I just focusing on the mother? Because like I said, the mother is the first teacher. Yes, we are learning from our fathers, but what we're basically learning from our fathers is how we need to develop a relationship with a man, with a counterpart. We are learning from our fathers what our likes and dislikes in our intimate relationship with the male species. What we want and what we don't want. We are learning an intimate love and a connection for that male species, for the men. Okay, why do I say male species and not just men? Because you have a difference here. You have males, you have men, and then you have boys, and they in one of those three categories. They in one of those three categories. But we'll get into that at a different time. If you want to look at some previous Coochie Church sermons, go to YouTube, check them out, or align yourself with our private and exclusive community at the Coochie Church over on Facebook. We have those uploaded there. And we speak about some of the inherent differences between males, men, and boys. But our mothers, going back to mothers, our mothers are our first teachers. Our mothers are the ones who show up and actually give us the blueprint on how to love ourselves based on how she loves herself, how she shows up for herself, what choices she makes in her daily life, in her daily routines that serve herself, right? That's where we are learning how to love ourselves through our mothers, through the way her personal relationship with herself and how she treats herself. That's where we're learning our personal relationship. So what I found is, as a young girl, my mother was always very, very busy. And my mother had this association that being busy meant being productive. How many of us do that right now? We think being busy and being productive. Put a 1 in the chat if you've done that, or you still find yourself doing that, being busy and feeling like you're being productive. Well, that's where I was raised. I was raised with a woman that showed me through her example that being busy and productive, I thought was associated in the same thing, and they're very two different things. Because you could be busy and not be doing anything that's rewarding or bringing value to your life. Okay. I also was raised with a woman who me too, Sadia. I know I don't hate being busy. I just like when being busy doesn't provide any type of comfort or value to my life. Okay. I don't necessarily hate being busy because we gotta be busy sometimes, it's just your definition of busy, right? So mama, she also, I was raised in very unsafe spaces. Let's be clear. Mama was beautiful, and mama would connect and attract men who were abusive mentally, physically, and emotionally. I've seen some things in my young home where my precursor for not feeling safe started very, very young. It started in my home. Say, yes, I've listened and learned that it's a trap and to keep us from knowing ourselves. Yes, being busy can be a trap and keep us from knowing ourselves, Mama Moo. And thank you for being here. I extend my graciousness to you. If you don't know, Mama Moo is my very, very good dear sister, friend, and I love her very, very much. And she also is one of our elders in the building. Okay, very, very wise, very, very wise. Also chosen by the mothers. So thank you for being here, Mama Moo. Now, it was very unsafe in my home. I've seen many, many things that has literally threatened our lives, threatened my mother's life, as well as threatened the lives of her children. So with me feeling unsafe as a child, I already started creating this fight or flight response in my life, meaning that I always had a level of anxiety when it came to certain relationships and certain people. Okay. This also can create PTSD or CPTSD, which is chronic post-traumatic stress syndrome. Many of us as Black women have chronic post-traumatic stress syndrome. Okay. And like I said, you have to go from the womb. What was mama experiencing? Okay. What did you see in the household coming up as a child? Did you feel safe? Did you feel secure? Did you feel levels of comfort? I know a lot of times we had a big mama or a Mimi or a Madeir or a mama or a TT or a Nana somewhere close by as our grandmothers, and we loved what? Going to grandma's house or going into grandma's bosom or what? Eating grandma's food. Mama cooked good, but grandma better. Why? Grandma had all that love and seasoning of experience all up in the plate. Right. But the one thing most of us experienced, some of us didn't have our grandmothers, or some of us grandmothers wasn't comforting. But many times when we think about comfort, we think about the bosom of what? Grandma, big mom. Something about grandma had that love and made you feel safe and secure. I know my grandmother, as sassy as she wasn't a big mama, but she was in the spirit of big mama. She made me feel safe and secure and comforted. And I loved being with my grandmother. I felt safe with my grandmother, right? Thank you. Thank you, Mama Mood. I appreciate you as well. Yes. I felt safe with grandma. If you notice, most of us feel more safe with feminine energy versus male energy. Why is that? Because many of our experiences with male energy, more times than not, for the Black woman, has been a struggle. Disclaimer, this is not about us No, we will be criticized. It's not about us going against and being full of men hate. This is not what the Coochie Church is about. The Coochie Church is about us being sovereign in owning our feelings and knowing who we are as goddesses, as mothers, as teachers, as Black women, knowing who we are and standing in our power. This is not about hating men. Let's be clear. This is about us getting ourselves in order and tapping in and restoring our anointing so that we can be purpose-filled, blessed, and full of prosperity and happiness and joy. That's what the Coochie Church is about. So this is not about men hating. However, we will discuss men and their discrepancies as well as their toxic behavior. We will discuss them. Why? Because a lot of what we are feeling and a lot of what we're experiencing right now is emotional, mental, and physical abuse by Black men. If you are part of the Coochie Church and you are part of our private and Facebook exclusive community, you go in there. I had put up a video that explains in a big portion about how the mothers, okay, have set up a curse or a spell towards our people because of Black men's disrespect and because of the way that they overthrew our goddess temples. So let me go back a little bit. If for those of you who are just tuning in and you're just finding out about me, I am a goddess. And like I said, I have been petitioned by the divine mothers, by the Yami, by the Ajay, with my Ajay, with their Ajay, in order to serve the masses of Black women. Okay. So with that, I understand that before there was a race war that they have us distracted in, there was a gender war. Let's be clear. We as women, there was a matriarchy. Now we are in a patriarchy, meaning father, paternal, male. There was a matriarchy before patriarchy, meaning matriarch, meaning mother, meaning maternal. Okay? XX chromosome, right? Two X's, chromosome, that is a female. Each embryo for the first 4 to 6 months are female, have XX chromosomes. Go check it out. Go do your research, right? So we first come here female, and then one part of that chromosome drops off, and it becomes an XY in turn, and then it becomes a male embryo. Okay, but understand they are our mutation. They are a mutation of the female. If you'd like to know more about how we impregnated ourselves, go look up parthenogenesis. Before the male, there was female as represented during the birthing process. And there was something called parthenogenesis, where the bone marrow, one of our late elders and one of our great teachers, Dr. Delbert Blair, I was fortunate enough to get his last 2 episodes before he transitioned, spoke a lot about parthenogenesis, how the Black woman was able to impregnate herself. So do some more research on that. Now, going back to our history as women, there was a matriarch, meaning that women were the power source. Women were the social economy. Women took over the social government. Women was over the land. Women were the advisors. Women were the oracles. Women were the prophetess. Women were the politicians. Women were the queens. But we still had our men, but our men at that time during matriarchy understood their position until they got together and decided that they were going to overthrow the matriarchy. Why? Because for one, they did not understand our magic nor our power. And because they felt as though They wanted the right to stand in their magic, will take our magic, because that's what they do. We still hand over our power and our magic to them to this day because we're under a spell. But the spell has been broken. That's why you hear so much about the return of the matriarch. That spell has been broken. Right? So that's one of the reasons you are here. Because you have a pull, and there's a seed germinating within you to get this divine work, right? So there was matriarchy. They had goddess temples. There was goddess worship, right? They understood the magic and the psyche and the gifts of a woman. But what happened was our men became jealous, like many of them are still today. They wanted the right. They wanted the power. They wanted the authority. So they destroyed the goddess temples. They took all of our wisdom, all of our knowing, all of our written word, all of our, where the Bible even comes from. 80% of the Bible was written by women, even though it's been plagiarized and it's been changed and shifted. That is coming from the Sibyls. Go look up the book, The Sibyls. Go on YouTube and look up Mama Zoe. I had the divine right in experience to sit for 2 days at the feet of a Mama Zoe and her just give me wisdom and just get these downloads. I went for a reading and she ended up calling me back, So I'm so appreciative for that, right? But go look up Mama Zoe on YouTube so that you could understand what your gene code is made up of. Your gene code comes from these goddesses, comes from these sibyls, comes from these oracles, comes from these priestesses, comes from these herbal women, these magic women, from the dreamers and the diviners. If you notice, all of us have these special gifts that we were told was witchcraft, and we were told to sit on them. Don't express them. Matter of fact, let them fizzle out. Downplay them. But when it comes time for it to truly be activated, nothing can keep you from your gift. Think about it. We didn't try to hide it. We didn't try to put it up under a bushel. We didn't try to throw it away. We didn't pray to God, please take it from me. I don't want to hear the voices no more. I don't want to see the symbols no more. I don't want to have the dreams no more. I don't want to know this anymore. I'm knowing too much. I see too much. How many of us have said that? Put a 1 in the chat. Why? Because I'm not going to be accepted. I'm not going to be accepted. They're going to look at me crazy. They're going to think I'm crazy, right? Plus, I'm scared. I'm scared of the calling. I'm scared of the gift. I'm scared of it. What my family going to say? I'm going to be ostracized. But I have to tell you, as you continue to grow and develop, in the goddesses call on you, the mothers call on you, it's going to come to a point you ain't going to give a damn about who say what and what do. Oh, you got to show up in it 10 toes down, and you got to accept the anointing. And what you're going to realize is your anointing is going to be part of your prosperity. Your anointing is going to help you further and grow the rest of your gifts to where you'll be able to profit. Profit. Understand the word profit. Prophetess, profit, right? All right. So let's get into why our divine right and our safety is our divine right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We're going to get into it today. Hope you got your tea, your coffee, your libations, your wine. I had my coffee this morning, y'all. And I think I don't need no more because you see, I'm already excited. Naturally, right? All right. All right. Tell me if you can see this screen, goddesses. We're going to go into it, sugar. Can someone tell me if they can see the screen?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, goddesses. All right, welcome to the Coochie Church. This is the Womb Awakening. We come on. We started off as a book club in February of 2022, and we have actually turned into a ministry. Okay, so I want to thank all of you who have began with me from day one, and as we continue to go on our journey. Who am I? I'm Tracy, the Sacred CEO, also known as Mama T, award-winning instructor, inducted in the Spa Hall of Fame. I am an ordained minister, priestess, master, licensed in social work and human sexuality. I have a lot of different titles. I am the founder of Love My Womb Academy, and we are the largest womb health and wellness academy in the nation. We are board certified. We have over 3,300 graduates, which are six-figure earners, and we do have some millionaires on our as graduates. I was featured in Essence, Vogue, Viceland TV, Woman to Woman Magazine, Priestess TV, and many other blogs and radio shows and things of that nature. I am herbalist, a medicine woman, an oracle, a prophetess, a healer, sexpert, self-love, and life coach. I help women to gain financial freedom through business and education, support, and empowerment. I'm also the visionary of Will Manifest Your Vision and our upcoming The Spirit of Her award show and luncheon. So let's go into feeling safe is our divine right. It is our divine right to feel safe, and in this time in era of things right now, I know you noticed that the chaos that is coming from female and male relationships in the Black community. The reason our relationships are so strained right now is because now Black men are actually being exposed. Let's be clear, goddesses, they've always been that way, but right now we have been their safety net, and they've been able to hide behind us because as women, not being in our divine right, what we have done, we have enabled them. We have enabled them to the point they are angry now. It's kind of like when you're raising, and I'm going to associate this, and if this going to touch some toes, we'll let it touch some toes. You know, they say the hit dog holler. We have enabled them to the point now they are actually acting like our youngest child. Why? Because in retrospect, they are our children. We have birthed them, right? So now they're having temper tantrums. And it's getting dangerous. It's already been dangerous because I know 80% of us that are here have experienced some type of sexual violation at the hands of a man. Some of us have experienced it at the hands of a woman, because most men, and I'm going to be clear, most 99.999% of men are predators. I know you've heard the term. They are hunters. That's exactly right. They are hunters. What do hunters do? Hunt prey. Who's the prey? Think about that for a minute. Who's the prey?
Hello?
Women and girls. Please put your mutes on, ladies. Those of you who just came in. Now I gotta go find this person. Okay, I just muted it. Thank you. Bring me back. Most men are predators, and we don't want to hear that. We don't want to think about it. Why? Because we think of the men that we love, our sons, our fathers, right? Our uncles, okay? Husbands. They innately are taught to hunt, to go out into the world, to kill and bring the kill home for us to eat. Meaning they go out into the world and they are supposed to go out and do what they need to do to provide. But a lot of times, instead of the Black men praying and going to get the food and bringing it home, what they're doing is they're preying on Black women and girls. It's painful and it's shameful, but it's true. 90% of us that are here right now have been sexually violated, manipulated, and abused by Black men. We're not going to hide this no more. We're going to acknowledge it. We're going to acknowledge this today because they have to be responsible and accountable for touching us as well as our daughters. Because see, we don't be responsible and accountable, and if we don't speak up and start acknowledging this and acknowledging this hurt, this pain, this trauma, it's going to get passed. I had a situation happen with my granddaughter. Honey, I nipped that shit in the bud immediately. We sat down at the round table. I'm like, what's happening with you? Why is she feeling uncomfortable? She ain't lying. She's not imagining nothing. What are you doing to make her feel uncomfortable? Are you priming her? See, we got to start nipping this shit in the bud. See, because our mothers and our grandmothers told us, okay, this, I dealt with it before now, you go ahead and do it, right? I dealt with it, you can do it. Nah, baby, fuck that. Nah, we ain't doing it like that no more. We ain't doing it like that no more. We have to protect. We are responsible as mothers. We are responsible as the oracles. We are responsible as the priestesses. We are responsible to protect our daughters. And when I say daughters, I'm talking about the young women also in our communities, because those are still our daughters, right? So let's talk a little bit about safety. Let's talk about safety. What is safety? Safety is the state of being safe, feeling safe, the condition of being protected from harm or other dangers. Safety can also refer to the control of recognized hazards in order to achieve an acceptable level of risk. This is why it's so important for you to listen to your body signals. Many times our body signals have been disrupted and disturbed because of sexual violations. Because when sexual violations happen to us when we're young, we immediately disassociate our body from ourselves. We disassociate ourselves from our body because we no longer trust our body, meaning we don't trust our feelings because we're not connected. And we end up taking that through our lives. We end up bringing that with us into adulthood. We end up bringing that with us into becoming elders, being disassociated and disconnected from our bodies, right? Not listening to that first line, that first thought, that first, you see what I'm saying? Giving a person the benefit of the doubt. Who you doubting here? So, but what you basically saying is you're going to doubt yourself and give the other person the benefit. And my mother used to tell me that all the time. Tracy, you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. See, that's setting you up for a line of bullshit. That's setting you up for manipulation and abuse. Please do not follow me. We got to change that right now. So safety is the control of recognizing hazards in order to achieve an acceptable level of risk. So you got to know what's going on in your surroundings. You got to know your body signals because your body is always alerting you. So we must go back into our bodies. I suggest every morning and every night, call those pieces of you that you shared with people, call that energy back to you. Don't leave it out there. Don't leave it out there. Call your energy back to you every night and every morning that you wake up. What is security? Security is protection from or resilience against potential harm or other unwanted coercion. Okay, being coerced, right? And being manipulated, being tricked. It's the product of feeling safe, as in feeling secure. Okay, many of us as Black women, we don't feel safe or secure. We've been in flight or fight so long, we haven't even sat down long enough to even think about feeling safe or secure. It's so far removed from us, It hasn't even been a thought for many of us until we start talking about it right now. You had to check with your body and say, you know what? That's what happened. When I put the call out here about what we was going to be discussing in this temple sermon, women start coming to me and saying, you know what? I never think I felt safe. We never even thought about it. That's how much we've been on autopilot in our anxiety. Okay, security is a protection from or resilience against potential harm or other unwanted coercion. It's the product of feeling safe as in feeling secure. Okay, security. Emotional safety is critically necessary for healthy human relationships. It is visceral feeling of being accepted and embraced for who you truly are and what you feel you need. Okay, when emotional safety is compromised, it can lead to intense psychological distress and greater isolation. I'll even add to that, when emotional safety is compromised, it can actually open you up to make you vulnerable for physical unsafe experiences as well as mentally unsafe experiences. When you feel unsafe emotionally, when that is compromised, you are coming into a victim-like circumstance. You are becoming easy picking, easy prey, what men like to call right. She's right. Right? That's why before sexual abuse, a lot of times it's sexual manipulation that takes place first. A lot of sexual abuse wasn't necessarily a brutal rape. It was such as they isolated you, they started grooming you, they started saying things, they caught you in uncompromised situations and act like it was a mistake. Oops, I'm sorry. Walked into the bathroom knowing you taking a shower, you undressed. Oops, I'm sorry. It started off as a coercion, right? Predators do that. Let's be clear. So security is protection from and resilience against potential harm or other unwanted coercions, manipulations. It's the product of feeling safe and feeling secure. That is security. What is comfort? Let's go into comfort. Okay, because see, all three of these play a part in us being holistically healthy within our emotional, mental, and physical bodies, right? What is comfort? Comfort can be understood in a few different ways. As a verb, comfort means to give strength and hope to someone, providing cheer or reassurance, to ease grief or trouble, offering consolation or solace. Remember, I talked about Big Mama Bosom, right? Offering comfort, right? But comfort is an ease from trouble, an ease from grief, right? For instance, when a mother comforts a crying child or friends comfort a bereaved family, they provide emotional support and relief. I'll even go a little further. When you are in connection with your mate, when you are in a marriage or you are in a monogamous relationship. You know what I'm saying? The comfort of knowing you are secure, knowing your needs are being met, even in a polyamorous or a relationship with polygamy, you have to know that your needs are being met, right? And many times we are in these relationships and our needs aren't being met. So we are constantly being neglected and we are sacrificing ourselves as Black women for the slaughter. Because if you remember in my past Coochie Church sermons, I was very clear in letting you know that us as Black women, female energy, we are the resource and the supply. Meaning everything comes from us. We are the creators of legacy. We are the resource when it comes to them wanting to have romance, when they want to have a sexual experience, when they want to have a home, when they want us to provide our nourishment from our feminine energy, nurturing them, when they need advice, when they need usually cleaning, all of these roles, cleaning and cooking and loving and supporting and all of that come from what? The resource of women. We are the resource in the supply. Because we are the resource in the supply, it should be a mandatory choice that we connect with someone that is going to bring us comfort so that we can be our fullest self in our fullest feminine potential. And many of us cannot execute our fullest potential because of the discomfort and the insecurities and not feeling safe in our own homes. We're making choices and we are choosing to connect with men who cannot provide and has shown you, giving you actual signs that they cannot provide safety, security, or comfort. But because there's something in us that cannot sit alone and be alone with ourselves, it cannot does not understand and feel comfortable in solitude with ourselves until we can develop ourselves to a point where we can choose someone that can bring us safety, security, and comfort. We will rather to not be alone and to say we have someone and not face our own demons and our own shadow work and our own selves. We'd rather link up with somebody that we basically have to take care of in them feeling safe, security, and comfort. We end up giving them safe, security, and comfort, but yet we don't get that in return. There's no reciprocal return on that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make you check yourself today, guys. We're gonna check ourselves today. So if you came here and thought I was just going to soothe you, no, I'm going to open up some wounds and we're going to have to deal with this shit because it's time out for the abuse. It's time out for the struggle love. Go check out my last Coochie church sermon where I talked about surviving struggle love. It's time out for struggle love. It's time for you to stand and become safe, secure, and comfortable with yourself so that you can stop attracting bums. I don't care how good they smell. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how good the dick is. You know when you're connected to a bum, especially if you are giving, and you're not even getting a match in return. A noun for what is comfort? Comfort as a noun, strengthening, aid, or assistance. Let's talk about assistance, right? Having that support. Consolation during times of trouble and worry. Mortgage bill is due. You know, you didn't got laid off. How is he going to make that up? How is he going to compensate for that? Is he even able to compensate for it? Does he have any skills in his arsenal or any intellect that is smart enough to make some kind of flip real quick or do what he got to do in order so that you don't have to be troubled and worried, so that you can still sit in your divine feminine in the fullness of that, so you can continue to create and multiply? Because see, you are constantly creating and multiplying. But if he's giving you stress, worry, and making you feel uncomfortable and anxiety and depression, then guess what you're multiplying? Stress, worry, discomfort, anxiety, and depression. That's what you're multiplying. Whatever he gives you, you multiply. Right? So strengthening, aid, and assistance. Consolation during times of trouble and worry. A feeling of relief and encouragement. Honey, a feeling of relief, knowing if I ain't got it, he got it. And so for my double goddesses, knowing if I ain't got it, she got it. Right? Come on. That is a beautiful feeling. Why? Because that means we can remain in our divine feminine and continue to create and multiply. They say happy wife, happy life. That is not a lie. That's why their lives is unhappy right now, because we're not happy. Mama is not happy, period. What else is comfort? Experiences that satisfy, bring satisfaction in what? Well-being. Being comforted, being supported, being encouraged. Safety, security, and comfort are definitely traits that need to be part of your development as well as your list of priorities when choosing a mate. And you can definitely find these out early, very, very early. Before you go in and start giving all of your resources, honey, you need to find this out quick and in a hurry. You need to find out what kind of things do he have set up in his life already. Not does he have potential, because potential is not safety, secure, or comfort. Equity is safety, secure, and comfort. Okay, not no big harebrained schemes of how he gonna take this and do this and do. See, it's so interesting to me, because what I'm finding is a lot of brothers come with all these harebrained schemes of what they got going on, but they haven't done anything to support what it is they said they want to do. Why? Because they're waiting to get with you, because they're gonna make you the organizer of it. Before you know it, you're gonna be took on what they wanted to do, doing it for them, and they're gonna be taking all the credit. And then they leave you for who they want, not who they need. We're gonna get into that in Surviving Struggle Love. So go back and watch that last Coochie Church sermon. Okay, when you are sensitive, let's go into ways when we feel unsafe. When you are sensitive, many situations can trigger a feeling of unsafety. For example, you can feel unsafe when you are feeling judged or rejected. Finances are unstable. That's a big one for us as Black women, because most of our men are carrying the weight. Right? You feel conflict between people, even when it's not about you. A situation that reminds you of an earlier situation that felt unpleasant or unsafe, meaning triggers. You get triggered and your old wounds hurt and come to the surface. See, when you with someone and you feeling like, oh, shoot, you being reminded of this feeling, you being reminded of something, that's your signal. When you being triggered, that's your signal. That's a time when you need to trust yourself, okay? You can even run your life in a default setting, feeling unsafe, just because of all the energies that you feel around you. This is when you're an extra sensory person. You have extra sensitivities. You're very sensitive. You're empathic. You know what I'm saying? You have a strong intuitions. You have a strong sense and feeling for energies. You can feel unsafe just being in certain energies, right? Around certain surroundings. The result is that you leave your grounding. Okay? When you feel unsafe and you stay in these situations, you leave your grounding and you start to feel unstable. You start to take on worry. You start to feel uncomfortable. And initially, you're out of alignment. You're out of balance. You move from your heart space now to your head space. And you know the mind can be a very, very tricky place. It could be a tricky thing just staying in your head all the time, because see, your head is going to be triggering all this stuff. And what happens is, if you stay in an uncomfortable, unsafe, and unsecure space too long, it becomes vital to your health. It becomes vital because you become unhealthy. And sometimes we will experience an anxiety and a psychosis, to where now we're starting to implement things that aren't even there because of the fear in the fight and flight. So we're going to get into fight and flight right now. Hope you got your pen and papers. What is fight or flight response? Fight or flight response, also known as the acute stress response, refers to the psychological reactions that occurs when in the presence of something mentally or physically terrifying. This response is triggered by the release of hormones that prepare your body to either stay and deal with it, deal with the threat, or to run away safely. I'm going to tell you, if in the beginning, if you have these feelings of feeling unsafe, if you don't feel security and there is no comfort, I'm going to tell you, put your track shoes on, start developing your plan of action now, and get the fuck up out of there. You are responsible to save yourself. You are responsible to protect yourself. Stop looking at the Black man to protect you. If you have noticed, he's not doing it and he's not coming to do it. Why? Because he is jealous of your divine right. He is jealous of your gifts. He's jealous of the way you're making your moves. He's jealous of the way you navigate. And I'm not talking about all of them. I'm talking about 80% of them. You got 20% that are highly developed and they understand who you are. They're not moving in them ways. But it is your responsibility to protect yourself, to protect your body, to protect your mental state, your emotional state, your physical state, and all of your resources and your assets. I wouldn't want to be 20 and 30 years old for nothing in the world, not with everything that I know now, right? Why? I wasn't good at protecting myself. Why? Because I didn't trust my body yet. I hadn't connected fully with being grounded in my body and picking up on the body signals. I still had some body shame stuff going on. So that's why it's so important. So fight or flight response is released hormones that prepare your body to either stay or go. 3 stages of flight or fight are the alarm stage. During this stage, the central nervous system is ramped up, right? That's when you get them anxiety. Your body be prepared to either fight or flee. What we gonna do? What we gonna do here? You being back in the corner, what you gonna do? First thing you're gonna try to get up out of here, but if you can't, what? You gonna come out swinging. You coming out fighting, right? Then you got the resistance stage. This is a stage in which the body attempts to normalize and recover from an initial elevated fight or flight response. The resistance stage is if you know danger is coming. You're like, oh shit, I'm in a situation right now. Let me hurry and get up out of here, right? That's the resistance stage. Or you are speaking to someone trying to calm them down because they are volatile in behavior. They have these outbursts of anger and they're unpredictable. But what you're doing right now is you're in that resistance stage. You saying things to calm the person down because you have to save yourself. You have to free yourself because you're feeling unsafe. Okay, how many have been there? I've been there where I've had to speak strategically and be calm and forthcoming. Now, did I want to take a bottle and knock a nigga over the head? Hell yeah. But I wasn't near a bottle and I thought about going to penitentiary, leaving my children. Right? So I had to be tactful and I had to use emotional intelligence to get him up off me because I seen this was going in a very manner where it's going to destroy us both. I was either going to hurt him or he was going to try to protect himself from me hurting me, which was going to hurt me. See what I'm saying? So that's when you get into that stage. Then you have an exhaustion stage. If the first two stages occur repeatedly over time, such as when you're under chronic stress, so if you're constantly going into alarm stage, resistance stage, alarm stage, resistance stage, you might be in an abusive relationship. It could be a manipulative relationship with a narcissist. You with a narcissist, you're constantly in alarm resistance, alarm resistance. These 2 stages, this is what breaks you down. It breaks your body down. It breaks your mental health down. It breaks your emotional state down because you're under chronic stress. And this can cause the body to feel exhausted and it breaks you down. What does it break down most? It breaks down your clarity. It brings on brain fog. It brings on depression. It brings on being lethargic. You're just tired all the time. It brings on feelings of anxiety. You're breaking down. You're breaking down fast. How many of us have been in a relationship where we was broke all the way down? You couldn't even think straight. You was just on autopilot. You was coming home, you was cooking, you was cleaning, you was going back to work. You barely nurturing the kids. You barely nurturing yourself. Why? Broke down. Exhaustion. Exhaustion. All right. Let's get into benefits of fight or flight. These are the benefits now. Okay. The fight or flight response plays a critical role in how we deal with stress and the dangers in our environment. When we are under a threat, the response prepares the body to either fight or flee by priming your body for action. You are better prepared to perform under pressure. Understand that fight or flight is a natural response, but to what extreme? That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the extremes of safety, security, and comfort. What it feels like when we don't have those things readily available to us, right? The stress of fight or flight creates a situation that can actually be helpful, making it more likely that you will cope effectively with threats. This type of stress can help you perform better in situations such as pressure at work, pressure in relationships, pressures at school. Okay? It can help you begin to navigate. That's what it is about here. It's about navigating in stressful situations when you are under pressure. Okay, so fight or flight does play a critical role in how we navigate from danger in our environment. All right. So let's get into, Lord, hold on, y'all. Getting it together over here. I'm on the roll here. All right. Constantly trying to see. I have this bar in front of me and it's not allowing me to see. So let me go here. Constantly being in a state of fight or flight, such as when facing repeated stress. Repeated stressors can also be harmful to your health. Let's talk about some of those stress-related factors when you are constantly in chronic stress, dealing with fight or flight. It increases your risk of chronic fatigue, just mentioned that, depression, gastrointestinal issues, headaches and migraines, heart attacks and strokes, high blood pressure, cholesterol levels, metabolic disorders such as diabetes, obesity, poor immune function, reproductive and sexual dysfunction. Many people are trying to get pregnant, trying to be fertility, trying to get fertile. They can't get fertile. Why? It's the stress of their relationship. And then that's really a way of protecting you. And many times we so needy for another person, we rather link up with that person for life, knowing they ain't shit. We've done it. We've done it. The child here now is our baby. We love them, but we've done it. I got one main narcissist. I had two boys by. And if I tell you, when I broke up with him, he broke up with his kids. Yes, bitch ass nigga. Okay. Okay, you can experience heart attack and stroke, high blood pressure and cholesterol levels, metabolic disorder such as diabetes, obesity, right? Emotional eating, poor immune function, reproductive sexual dysfunction, and worsening breathing problems such as those related to asthma. If you notice, those of us who are in stressful situations, when we get in fight or flight, if we have asthma, what we end up having a what? Asthma attack. It affects the body, feeling unsafe, not having and being in the presence of security, feeling secure, and constantly being in uncomfortable situations and not being able to have comfort from grief and loss and things of this nature creates these health hazards. Many of us are experiencing them now, but we got some issues, we got some ways. I'm never going to bring you the problem and not give you some solutions. Let's be clear. You never just going to be wide open with the problem and not get some solutions. So we're going to get into it. I want you to mark off some of those things that you're experiencing, right? Because some of you don't understand why you're experiencing high blood pressure. It's the fact you've been feeling unsafe since you was 10. Understanding the body's natural fight and flight response is one way to help cope with such situations. When you notice that you are becoming tense, the body's tensing up, you can start looking for ways to calm down and relax your body. How do we calm down and relax our bodies when we're in flight or fight? First of all, if you are in an environment that is making you feel unsafe and insecure and not comfortable, leave. Do your best to get out of the environment. That's why it's always best. You know, grandma used to tell you, baby, you got some change to get yourself home in case something happened. You over there trusted. Now I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. Some shit go down. This nigga want to act a fool with you. He want to fight you in the car and shit. Now you ain't got no way. You got to jump out the car and try to find your way back home. It didn't happen to me, baby. It didn't happen to me. Just 3 years ago, honey, I jumped out on the freeway. Just 3 years ago, I jumped out the car on the freeway. But see, I got myself home too. You know, I'm a little older. But yeah, I jumped out on the freeway. Certain ways you can't talk to me. You can't disrespect me. You can't abuse me mentally, verbally, or physically. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you just because you driving. You think I'm just gonna just be sitting there, sitting down because you driving, you gonna be talking to me and insulting me and disrespecting me, calling me out my name and all kind of shit. Nigga, you got me fucked up. Baby, that traffic got slow on that freeway, that people got slow. And yeah, your girl, your goddess jumped out. Had a nigga riding around for hours looking for me. I was laid up in the hotel at one of the Marriott's, honey, in a comfortable bed on the phone. Trying to calm my nerves, right? So understanding the body's natural fight and flight response is one way to help cope with such situations. Ways to calm the fight or flight response include developing a healthy supportive network. Don't allow them to isolate you, because once you are isolated and then you feel some kind of way now because you got to call on your sister friend or you got to call on your family member and tell them that you need help and what's going on, because what they isolated, the person isolated you and you hadn't been able to call and really talk to anybody about it. You haven't been sharing your life with them, right? That's one of the main reasons they isolate you. Because now you shameful. You shameful. You don't want to go to your sister. You don't want to go to your mama and tell her what's going on. You don't want to do these things. You don't want to connect with people because you've been all this time not letting them know what's going on. And now you want to call them when you got a problem and ask for help. Fuck that. Call somebody and ask for help. Let them know you were ashamed you didn't want to discuss this with them because you didn't really understand what it was you were going through. But now you need help. But when you need help, you can't just use the people for help one or two times. Because see, that thing about needing help and getting out of these situations that are domestically abusive, when you get out of a domestic abuse situation, a lot of times you attempt to leave and you go back. You attempt to leave and go back. And what happens is sometimes the people that you have used for help will stop helping because they feel as though you are actually fucking off their resources. Whether they came to get you, whether they put you in a hotel, whether you came to stay with them, whatever. But if you got a true person in your corner to understand that you are under an emotional and mental spell, they'll stick with you and they'll keep coaching you and encouraging you to do better, right? To get up from up under those unsafe and insecure situations. So developing a support network, engaging in relaxation exercises, meditation. Go to YouTube and get some of those binaural beats to help heal your nervous system. Very, very important, healing the nervous system. I go in and I always talk about incorporating magnesium. All right, incorporating magnesium and incorporating the B vitamins to help you with your nervous system, to help bring it some balance and get into alignment, right? Getting regular physical exercise and walking in nature. It's warming up now. Let's get out there in nature. Let's take our shoes off and ground. Let's go up under a tree. Let's give our stress and our worry to the tree, right? Go back to the earth. Making sleep a priority. Getting enough rest. Many of us can't sleep. They got melatonin, they got chamomile tea, right? They got valerian root. These are all things you can help to bring you a restful night's sleep. Practicing deep breathing exercises. Remember, the breath is so important. You think about it, when our breath is constricted, honey, ain't no life. Ain't no life. Every organ in your body can be working correctly and let something take your breath. There's no life. So oxygen, practicing deep breathing, getting enough oxygen within your body, doing deep breathing exercises. Let's practice one right now. Okay, we're going to do 5 deep breaths. So I want us to do a deep breath in through our nose, hold it for about 3 seconds, and we're going to blow it out through our mouth. Let's do that together, starting now. Deep breath. Hold. Release. Remember, inhale through the nose, holding it for 3 seconds, and breathing out through our mouth. Do it again. Breathe in. You should hear that breath leaving your body. Breathing in. Deep, deep, deep. Hold. Breathing in. Number 5. Breathing in. Deep breathing can calm you instantly. Okay? Don't self-medicate. Don't be so quick to self-medicate. Those of you who are under medication for stress and anxiety, this is in no way telling you to stop your prescription. Okay? But I am giving you some holistic ways to calm your nervous system when dealing with high stress and anxiety. Okay? Comfort yourself. Now remember, rejection is protection. Come on. Come on now. We got to know when our spirit team is working on our behalf, honey. We got to know when our spirit team is working on our behalf. We got to know when the goddess is talking to us. We got to know when our earth angels are present and they say, hold up, wait a minute, we're here to protect you. Let's go into some rejections that are meant to protect us. Because many times we be pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then finally, your spirit team, your earth, your guides, and your angels be like, okay, move on out the way. Because remember, we have free will. We over the ancestors. We over the angels. The angels and the ancestors are in the same position when dealing with us here in this human experience. They move out the way, especially when we're not listening. So, what are some ways and some signs and some symbols of being protected? Okay, these are divine protection. This is what it looks like. Divine protection looks like not being chosen, unanswered calls, okay? Dreams that reveal your reality. You know, you be having those dreams. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's being said in those dreams. Pay attention to those pictures. Pay attention to who's in them. Pay attention to the role that they're playing in the dreams. What is that message saying? And if you don't know what the dream is, you need to go to somebody that interpret dreams that you trust, right? Messages from your spirit team. When you know your spirit team is talking, and those of you who don't know when your spirit team is talking, you better go find you an oracle. Okay? Go to somebody that they've been to somebody that they keep going to. That's usually somebody that they trust, got good juju, right? Messages from your spirit team. What are some of the messages? You get downloads when you're in the presence of people. You get downloads when you're on your way somewhere. You get downloads when you step into somewhere. You know, all these things, you get messages and downloads all the time. You got to pay attention to those. What are you feeling? What is your body sensation? Right? Repeated synchronicities. Things happen on a repeated. Every time I go over here, I feel like this. Every time I go over here, I see this red raven. Every time I go over here, you know, it's a butterfly. Every time I go over here, girl, I smell smoke. Every time I go over here, I smell rotten eggs. All these things, repeated synchronicities, right? Being late, constantly being late for something, or somebody constantly being late with you. That is something you need to look at. Taking the incorrect route. I have done this on many occasions and have been protected from like a big car wrecks and pileups and things of that nature. Taking incorrect routes. There was a shooting over on that end of town. You know, things like that. Taking incorrect routes. Don't be, oh, girl, you know, and call the people. If you're taking an incorrect route, you on your way to an appointment, just politely call and say, you know, my GPS took me on an incorrect route. I will be there in 15 minutes. I thoroughly apologize. Don't get all nervous. Don't get all hyper anxiety. Understand that's a means of protection for you. Noticing how fake someone is. You know this person fake as hell, and you keep dealing with them. You just waiting for them to strike. Waiting for them to strike. Why? Because you don't know how to cut people off. Because you don't want to sit with yourself and be with yourself. But the biggest thing about this whole thing is learning how to sit and be with yourself and know that it's not loneliness. You need to start incorporating and creating solitude, sacred space for your life with yourself by yourself. Noticing how fake someone is very, very important because that signs all day long letting you know this person should not be within your circle. Ears ringing. Pay attention to your ears ringing. Usually when your ears ringing, that is your frequency getting an upgrade. Your frequency is upgrading when you hear that all the time. You know how you turn the radio station, you hear it? That's you changing channels. You being fine-tuned to your next level, your next frequency. And please do not feel bad when you are not invited somewhere. I need you to look at that. You feel like you good and you should be in a space and a place and you in person and connected or whatever, and you didn't get invited to their birthday party. Take that as a means of protection. Take that as knowing, okay, you and that person now on the level you thought you was on. You need that information. because that means you need to stop sharing certain stuff with that person. If you sharing too much, allow spirit to protect you. This plays a part in you feeling safe, secure, and being comforted. You are your first line of safety, your first line of security, and your first line of protection. Right? So I want to thank you for joining me and allowing the Most High to use me to share this information with you. May you experience joy and many blessings on your journey, and may your ancestors be pleased. For more magic, holistic, and spiritual healing, you need to join our exclusive private community over at the Coochie Church on Facebook. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines for those who want to speak. You got a minute to go ahead and share any developments or inspirations that came to you during this Coochie Church sermon. Anybody want to speak about feeling safe, secure, and comfort?
I want
Come
to
on
speak.
through, Allison. Yes. Hey, Sugar, how are you?
Hey, everybody. Grand Rising. Happy Self-Care Sunday. You know, listening, listening to everything that happened today. My ego, I know it was my ego was telling me to click off because I became triggered.
Okay. It's okay. I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. We here to support you. We here to support you. Everybody's stretch your hands out to Allison right now. Let's give her some divine love and energy. Right now, one of our sisters need our support. See, that's another thing. We got to get together in safe communities as sisters to feel supported, feel comfortable. And a lot of times, our own sister communities have rejected and betrayed us in this way. It ain't always the black men because we've adopted some predatory behaviors as well, right? Come on through, Allison. What's going on, sugar? We love you. We love you here. We love you. I love you. I love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you, everybody, for holding space for me. When you begin to talk about how the young girl is primed and how she's how they how molestation is not all the time in the beginning stage of them touching, but them talking to you, letting you know how pretty you are and how beautiful you're gonna be when you get older and different things like that. And I said, nope, I'm gonna stay on because there's a lot of times need to face we need to face these things. We need to face these things. So I'm so grateful for the Coochie Church. I'm so grateful for what went forth today. It has really, truly been a blessing to me. And I realize now that I feel like that I should have been more protected because a lot of my molestation happened in front of a room full of people. And
Greetings.
nobody even noticed what was happening. But I'm so grateful that I can talk about it. I'm free to talk about it. I'm free to talk about it. And I just want to say thank you, Priestess Shaman Tracy, and my sisters for us being on this call today. It is so important for us to feel safe. A lot of us as young ladies and children, throat chakra was cut off because we were told if you tell, I'm going to hurt your family. If you tell, I'm going to hurt you. And so we were silenced. And so now is the time for us to talk. We don't have to be silent anymore. So I'm not going to take too much time. I just want to say thank you so much for this space.
I send you
Greetings, sis. Could I say something?
right now. Divine love and energy right now
Allison,
to Allison. And I love you. And may the mothers cover you and comfort you in their bosom. Go ahead, Mama Moot. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in. Did you want to get on the video or you just want to speak?
just want to speak.
Okay.
Allison, I thank you. I thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I thank you for allowing yourself to speak your truth. I agree with what you said. So often in molestation, our throat chakra is shut down because the fear, the shame, the guilt. But guess what, Allison? You just released all of that to us.
Thank you, God. Yeah.
You just released all of it. You don't have to be shamed. It's okay to cry. Because when you cry, the crying is releasing and you're allowing yourself to be free. There's no shame. No shame. There's no blame. You're no longer a victim.
No.
Come on.
You're not the victim. You're the victor. See, in that molestation, now you can help other young sisters. You can show them the signs. You can tell them. You know what to look out for. You can stop that generational curse. And you can speak about, for so long, I did not say anything about my molestation. So now I speak on it. And I tell people I was molested by my brothers. So I speak on that. So I tell people, See, I'm not ashamed to call my pedophiles or my molesters out. That's how the healing takes place as the womb stress. Tracy said, you got to speak on it. You got to talk about it. Open your eyes. There's no shame, sister. There's no shame. What average melanated sister has not been touched, hurt, or harmed? So when you take away the shame, take away the shame. There's no shame. There's no blame. You did nothing.
Yes.
That's your testimony. That's how you help other sisters. That's how you stop the generational curses in the bloodline. You are safe. You are secure. Know that you brought this forth so that you can come and do your purpose, your destiny, your dharma. Love yourself. Bask and bathe yourself in love. Let there be safety and security, and let it begin with me. Go in that root chakra. That's where it is. Go in that root chakra. It's okay to experience that sexual trauma. In order to heal, we got to go back into that trauma. And when you go back in that trauma and you say, you know what? I thank you. I thank you for this. Thankful and grateful that I experienced this, because guess what? I needed to experience this so that I could come forth and come through and find me, myself. So I could be a blessing and a bounty for this to others. See, those are generational curses in our bloodline that was given to us. Open them eyes up, baby. No, don't, You all right. You whole and complete.
Yes.
We keep in sacred space. See, we're not holders, we're keepers. As wombtresses, as sister, we keep us. See, as I want to call Tracy the minister, as Minister Tracy stated, we were the priestess and the prophetess, the oracles. We were the keepers. So we keep in space. There's no shame. There's no blame. No, no, no. Healing, wholeness, completeness is taking place. You come to help other sisters and other wombtresses who've been through. And when you see that, you could say, oh, baby, no. See, we used to let our babies sit on the men. So we have to tell these young sisters about, when you get your mate or you get your man or whatever you want to call it, watch, don't let your daughter, We have to be the watchman on the wall.
Ashe.
We have to bring forth, we have to bring it out. And we have to not be afraid to say something. If you see something, say something.
Yes. Yes. And can I add to that, Mama Moo?
Yes.
We have to also create safe space for sisters to be able to come tell us.
Yes.
See, a lot of times we want to avoid that because it may trigger us. You know what I'm saying? But we have to create safe spaces for these young sisters to tell us. Like I said, my granddaughter felt comfortable enough. It was uncomfortable for her, but she knew enough about the love of her grandma that if she shared this with her grandmother, something was going to be done.
Yes.
And it hadn't gotten to the space of actual, the actual act. But we felt like a priming was happening. You see what I'm saying? And I shit. And the fact that she felt comfortable enough, and she got up and said, "Grandma, thank you so much for allowing me to feel comfortable. I feel safe and supported."
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? We have to create these safe spaces for our daughters where they feel safe and supported when they come tell us.
And I want to take that even further. And if we brought it to their attention, a lot of times we don't teach our daughters about their wounds. We don't teach our daughters about their vagina, how golden it is, and the purpose of it, how magical and mystical and powerful it is. As Dr. Ben said, heaven is between a woman's legs. So you put your daughter in that, your granddaughter in that space, because I'm quite sure you've had the conversation with her.
Yes, I did.
And when we have when we had our word sounds, when we have our conversations with our daughters about molestation, about, does that not open the door for them to feel safe and secure?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mama Moo. We appreciate you. Thank you. This is our divine elder of the Coochie Church. Yes. Tell everybody how they can find you, Mama Moo, please.
Can I say something real quick? I just want to take this opportunity because I'm really big on honoring the elders. So I want to thank you for your wisdom, Mother Mook. I want to thank you for your light. I feel your love. I thank you for covering me. I thank you for covering us. And I thank you for being an example for us. So thank you. And I say honor and respect to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and honor and respect to you too. And each sister, each wompress on this call, we've all shared in that. It's okay. See, when you bring this to a place of wholeness, when you hear about it, what it would do is it will get you excited. So you'll get excited. Then you be wanting to say, okay, it doesn't hurt anymore. The pain is gone. See, a lot of times it ain't the pain there, it's the memory of it. And we're gonna eradicate that memory up out your DNA. So what you can do is you can go back to that and ask gently, joyous, and harmoniously. Let me bring forth a wholeness to this. Let me bring this to a point of wholeness where I no longer feel the pain of this. You're whole, baby. You complete. You brought this so that you can rise and shine and take that out your bloodline. So you can get your gifts, the fruits.
Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, goddesses. I appreciate you. Anyone else ready to they have anything they want to say? Anything, any questions, comments, or concerns, or maybe something that was a point of inspiration or question, please feel free now. We open up the temple to you. Okay, well, I want to thank you once again for being here on this beautiful Sunday. Please, we want to thank you, Mother Goddess and Father God, for our divine connection. We want to thank our spirit team and our ancestors. We want to thank the gatekeepers for opening up the gates. You can close the gate now. We can want to thank the record keepers for opening the seals. You can close the seal now. Please close the portal. Please give us the the energy of grounding in anything that has been projected or anything that has been triggered. May you also, we find ease and comfort in that energy, and may we go forth and continue the healing that comes with finding happiness and true joy. And may we continue to do our work, and may we continue to create safe, secure, and comfortable spaces, first for ourselves, then our families, and then our communities. May we continue to be connected to our body triggers, our body sensors, our body awareness. May we continue to go forth and understand that our intuition is our guide, our GPS system, our God positioning system. May we continue to be navigated through the holy embodiment of the goddess, of the crystalline energy, of the many master teachers. May we continue to stay connected and help and have them to help us guide and navigate us through this earthly experience. In no way do we provide any type of tolerance for any type of sexual violations, misuse, or abuse. We do not condone it, nor do we tolerate it. However, we need your help in helping us to heal from any violations that made us feel unsafe, unsupported, insecure, as well as uncomfortable. May we continue to protect one another as well as we come together in these beautiful power circles of sisterhood. Please go forth in joy, love, peace, integrity, purpose, prosperity, balance, whole healing, as well as love. Ashe, amen, and I want. Peace and blessing, divine sisters. Go find us. If you have just been invited by a friend, we want to thank that friend for inviting you. But if you are not part of the Coochie Church, which is our actual private and exclusive community, go on Facebook so that you can be a part of the Coochie Church. And remember, your safety, your protection, your security, and your comfort is your divine birthright. Do not sacrifice yourself for anyone else's safety, security, in comfort, unless it is someone such as your child. If it's your child, that's a whole different platform, because you know we'll stand in front of the bullet for our baby, right? So understand, you have to know when it's time to hold them and when it's time to fold them. Meaning you got to know when it's time to stand 10 toes down and get them machete. Because sometimes the goddess is a warrior too. Don't get it complacent. Don't get it twisted and think we all light and love. No, sometimes we got to go into them dark spaces and we got to walk them valleys of the shadow of death and fear no evil. You got this. You got this. You got this. I love you. Peace and blessings. From my heart to yours. Thank you, Mama Moot. Once again, we love you. Oh, Mama Moot, come here and let them know how they can find you. Let them know how they can find you, goddess.
Well, I don't have a website. The only way you can find me is still my phone number, but Tracy knows my number. And
you got an email address, Mama Moot? They might want to
email. Yes, I do.
Okay, so you can do some distance Reiki healing, do some readings and things of that nature. Go ahead and give me your email. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
What's your email?
SOUL number 2.
Okay.
DA. BONE.
BO what?
NE.
NE. Okay.
At gmail.com.
Soul to the bone.
Yes, ma'am.
gmail.com, y'all. If you need some instruction, reading, ancestral message, Reiki, distant Reiki healing, our sister Mama Moot right here. I'm putting this in. See, this is why we got to stay connected, y'all. This is why we got to stay connected. This is why we got to stay connected. It's so important. Okay, I put that in the chat. Soul to Dabone, DABONE at gmail.com. I love you, goddesses. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Be well.
You too. Wholeness.
Yes.